Denny Hamlin going for a three-peat at Daytona 500 coming up this weekend on Fox. And this would be his fourth Daytona 500. And, of course, I mentioned that he is partnered with Michael Jordan. They've been good friends for quite some time. Denny Hamlin joins us now. Wait, I'm looking at you. You don't look like you're happy. What kind of mood are you in today?
Good. I mean, my day's just getting going, so
Right.
we got a clean slate here.
All right, like you're in a race mode here or something. You seem kind of serious. What's going on?
I'm just ready to get to the golf course, man.
wait, that's how you're preparing for the Daytona 500, playing golf?
Yeah, Michael comes in today.
Oh, so you're going to go play with Jordan?
Yeah.
Now, how much do you play? Is it per hole or is it front nine, back nine overall?
No, by the hole. Got to get more action.
Okay. Now, what kind of action are we talking about on each hole? Who decides?
You decide on the first tee.
Yeah, but is Jordan deciding how much you're playing for?
No, he just, whatever you want to play for, whatever makes you comfortable.
Tiger said to me one time, whatever makes you nervous is what I would play for.
Which I can't play that game with him, right? So
nothing makes him nervous?
Immediately I'm in a disadvantage.
You could win the Daytona 500 and still lose money because, depending on how much you bet with Jordan, you could sign over that check.
Yeah, no, I'm good enough to where I never put in play something that, I'm going to get emotional if I lose.
Are you allowed to talk smack to him?
Absolutely.
How does it work?
I mean, he misses a putt he should make, which doesn't happen often. His short game's just incredible. But for me, I just, you talk some smack, talking about how bad that putt is or how bad that shot was.
I like it. You were born in Tampa, but raised in Virginia. Were you rooting for the Buccaneers?
I was, yeah. That was the only kind of connection I had to either team. So certainly was rooting for the Bucs there.
Have you golfed with Brady before?
No, I've not. Which, I mean, when you watch the match last year, it was like, boy, he's terrible. And then all of a sudden, he makes it from 160 out or something.
Oh, it was great. That was one of those where he shut up Barkley. Like, suck on this, Charles.
Yeah.
Is Richard Petty the Tom Brady of Daytona?
Oh, I mean, statistically speaking, yes.
Because he's got 7, right?
He does. And I mean, what's difficult is, back in Richard Petty's days, really there was 5 or 6 cars that were capable of winning the Daytona race. And, now it's just, you've got 30 that are capable of winning. So it's just very, very difficult. Like the fields were all strung out. They didn't have the pack drafting like they do now, where there's more wrecks. So not to say it was easier, but certainly he was one of the 5 or 6 that could win when they got to the big tracks.
And it feels like if you're going to win Daytona, avoiding those wrecks early and, well, even late too. But how can you have a strategy to avoid a wreck other than be in first place and then you usually don't have to worry about that wreck?
Well, I mean, statistically speaking, like position 2.7 is the most likely to wreck. So the wrecks actually start in the front. So there's really no safe place that you can be unless you want to just be dead last and behind the pack totally. So, I mean, I've won this in different ways, either staying up front or I've been in the back. And then sometimes I've been in the middle and just somehow avoided them. So, I mean, I think that certainly we've defied odds in the last few years. I always say this, speedway racing where you have a pack, it is a skill game, but sometimes you get unlucky. If you don't cause the wreck, you can get in it. Usually in other sports, when people, your competition makes a mistake, you capitalize. Well, in this type of racing, your competition makes a mistake, you're liable to be in it. So it's a little different in that aspect.
How much analytics do you guys use?
A lot. I mean, I think that, my team in particular uses quite a bit of analytics. We always, I always kind of know my percentages, what's the best place to be in a certain time. But really I rely on my gut feeling. You can see and feel when the volume starts to get turned up inside the pack, and people are starting to make moves that are risky. And really, that intuition's kind of what I've relied on over the years.
What would it mean to three-peat?
Well, I mean, anytime you can do something that no one else has done, I mean, it's going to be your biggest victory. And so, certainly for me, I think that it would be the biggest win that myself and the FedEx teams ever had is to win three in a row at what I deem one of the hardest races to win.
James Dennis Allen Hamlin. Does anybody call you Dennis?
No, I mean, not really. Unless they want to throw out Dennis the Menace or something like that. They did that when I was a kid. I got a little bit of that, but
it's still there. Still bothers you a little bit.
It might be a little touchy.
You know what? I was thinking J.D. Hamlin sounds like a NASCAR driver.
It's interesting. I never knew why James wasn't just my name. I mean, that's what my real name is. JD. I could have went with that. But my mom always used to call me Little Denny. My dad was Dennis, and he was Big Denny, and I was Little Denny, and that's just kind of how I always understood and answered is under Denny.
We can change it right now if you want to.
Well, I mean, you'd probably want to go with Dennis, though, right? Just to kind of.
No, I like JD. No. I'm not going to do the Dennis the Minute. No, I'm not Jordan here. We're not trash talking. I'm on your side.
Okay.
I'm just thinking like JD, ladies and gentlemen, the number 11 card, JD Hamlin.
I like that. I can go with that.
All right. It's official. Paulie, would you let NASCAR know that don't call him Dennis, call him JD Hamlin?
Let FedEx know as well.
All right. That's good. I appreciate that. How often do you hear, hey, Hamlin, nice PJs?
A lot. I mean, yeah, I think I saw, from the analytics actually from that is that it's been played now over 35,000 times.
Wait. You have analytics on the commercial you're in?
Yeah, there was an article put out, one that specializes in commercials and airplay and investments and all that. It was like 35,000 times. I mean, it's on every channel.
Yeah.
It's definitely been the most played commercial over the last 3 months. No question.
How long did it take you to shoot that?
Just a day. I mean, actually the PJ's line, to be honest with you, was an alternate line that was, kind of thrown in right at the very end. I forget what the primary line was with her, but I think she mentioned something about, you're slow or something like that. But then someone at the very end was like, hey, can we get a PJ's line? Can we get one where, she says, nice PJs, and then you kind of react to that? I'm like, sure. And turns out that, they knew what they were doing.
But I loved your reaction. You didn't really have any lines. It's basically PJs.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty natural because they didn't tell me what the line, they just said, you had somebody in the background saying, hey, you're slow. And I'd react. Or, hey, and then they were like, hey, nice PJs. And I was like, PJ.
Hey, you want to give a plug for the team that you co-own with Jordan here before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, this is a big year for us, obviously, to bring Jordan into NASCAR. He's obviously been a huge fan of it for all of his life. His dad used to take him to NASCAR races. I didn't know that story till, our friendship grew. But, fielding a car for Bubba Wallace this year, the only African-American driver, and he qualified fourth, actually, yesterday for the 500. So, really looking forward to, now owning a team as well as competing, which will be interesting. No one's done that since Dale Earnhardt 20-some years ago. So it's going to be interesting dynamic, but, hopefully I'm a great asset to that team. And, I work for Joe Gibbs Racing, one of the best organizations. And so I can bring information over there to help us get better. So it's a big year for us in the sport itself.
It's great to talk to you. Have fun, and don't lose too much to Jordan here.
All right. That sounds good.
Thank you, buddy. All right. Denny Hamlin. Always good to catch up with him.